Hello, everyone. I'm here with Mary Beth Peil, of course, Tony nominee, Emmy nominee, Obie Award winner. A lot of millennials like myself, we, of course, came to love you as Grams on Dawson's Creek. Meant
Yes.
so much to me. I'm an out gay man, and there were so many times in that series that you spoke to me and my experience, and it felt like through the screen. And so I just want to thank you for all of that.
Well, and I thank Kevin Williams and all the wonderful writers at that writers table who knew how to let Grams speak.
Totally, totally. And you,
Yeah.
you recently had a little reunion benefit with the Dawson's Creek cast for James Vanderbeek, and the proceeds went to F Cancer. So I first of all want to encourage listeners to donate to F Cancer if you can. And I want to know
Please.
what was it like? How was it reuniting with everyone?
Well, it first of all, it wasn't little. um, it was huge in so many ways. I'm told that the tickets for the live performance at the Richard Rogers Theater, which is where Hamilton has been for quite a while, sold out within 12 minutes. So already we knew that something was right about the event. The reason for the event, the fact that James is fighting the good fight with colon cancer, was not a good reason. But as so often in life, unintended consequences sometimes turn out to have good consequences, and that was the Fuck Cancer Foundation. So I'm going to send that information to you separately so you can
Yeah,
put it up. Is that
we'll post it along. I mean, I have a link,
great?
so we'll put a link
Oh,
in the
great.
show notes for everyone to
I'm
donate if they
I'm
can.
not good with the links
Don't
and all the
don't worry about
buttons
it.
and things. But it was a tremendous evening. First of all, we all gathered on Sunday, and many of us had not seen each other in 30 years. Yeah, the last episode was 2003, so 32 years. Is that right?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
something like
32.
that.
Yeah.
Something
I'm
or
not good with math.
2022. I don't know. It doesn't. Um, yeah, so we hadn't seen each other in a long time. So that was surreal and quite wonderful. And the whole way in which the program was set up with James Moore directing it, and Tommy Kail and his connection with Michelle Williams, being able to use the Hamilton Theater and the Hamilton crew and everything, it just went so beautifully. And then on Monday, we all gathered at the theater and had a little rehearsal, and it was surreal because we were doing live a recreation of sorts of the first table read of the pilot. So it had all these double, triple things going on with memory of what it was like to actually do that pilot, and then to have Busy and Kurt there, who weren't in the original pilot, doing all these wonderful other parts. So it was fun for us to watch. It was fun for the audience and for us to hear how well the script held up, how some things that were quite serious at the time turned out to be funny now, which I think means progress.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that's the reason. But it was very moving to really see and hear the sound of that audience with the recognition and love that was pouring towards us, towards the stage, was something I had experienced a lot at the stage door after plays, especially Broadway plays, where people do tend to gather at the stage door. And so I was aware of many, many people who that show really affected their life. Sounds like you might be one of them.
Yeah, of course. Yes. As I
Yeah,
mentioned, I don't know,
yeah,
yeah, when we started recording, but it was
exactly.
such a meaningful show to me in so many ways.
So many ways. I'm still struck by. I ran into a young woman the other day who handed me my panera soup and burst into tears because the show in reruns now means so much to her. So it's kind of wonderful. I mean, we had no idea when we started that it was going to even run more than, it was just a half a season, 13 episodes, the first go round. We had no idea it was going to run for 6 seasons, not to mention become zeitgeist.
Well, and now I think we look back on it as this huge cultural phenomenon, but I think at the time it was on WB, which was a new network at the time.
Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah, and I think I'm sure you've realized over the years too, so many people discovering it on places like Netflix or Hulu or wherever they put it.
Yeah.
And so many of us rewatching it. And I think it was a comfort show for so many of us. The thing that always sort of sticks out to me about it being sort of meaningful in my life is I come from a small town, and I remember the scene with Grams, and forgive me, I don't remember the exact wording, but she's talking about she talks about tolerance when it comes to a gay man, and she says something along the lines of like, I'm not here to judge, and my own grandmother was very religious. I was super close with her, and that was always the thing that struck me about her religion was she was wildly religious, but she also always said it wasn't her place to judge. It was, it was God's place to judge, not her. And I find that message sometimes, even now, maybe more than ever, gets lost in religion.
Oh, big time. And the word judgment is, I think, the operable word. The fact that people cast judgment, and we're unfortunately, we just get more and more judgmental of each other. The dividing line gets worse and worse, and it is sort of, it's not just sort of, it's the antithesis of spiritual, religious life.
Right. It's wild how things have gotten sort of twisted in so many ways.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but we soldier on.
Yes, we soldier on. I also should say I'm smiling a bit, but you might notice puffy eyes because I rewatched the finale last night and in preparation for this interview. And I will tell you that finale, Mary Beth, is so heart-wrenching. And there's the moment where, of course, Michelle Williams, spoiler alert, the character passes away in the finale episode. And the moment when Graham sees Jen and says, I think I wrote it down, like, I'll see you soon, my child. Mary Beth, it's like the most heart-wrenching thing. How did you all get through that? Because I imagine it was sad leaving the show and ending the show, but then it was like the most heart-wrenching scene ever.
It's so interesting about time, what time does for us, because at the time, I mean, Michelle was still a baby, and I was much younger, and I had not yet encountered a lot of people dying in my life, my friends, my own parents, my, colleagues. So it was kind of interesting. I mean, it was hard to do, but I think it's harder now to watch because for me, it's truer now. And maybe it's truer for you. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, when I watched it, it did maybe hit a little harder because I think when I saw it initially, I hadn't lost anyone, and I've since lost people like that grandmother.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of, and it's the way life is. You really experience those deep emotional things differently at different stages in your life. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, we'd be crying all the time.
It's a good catharsis sometimes to watch something sad, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I could not agree more.
You mentioned you were much younger, and I've always been fascinated because it seems like they very much aged up the character of Grams. You all aged her up a lot. And so what was that like as an actor? I don't know. Talk to me about like sort of finding Grams's look, and were you, how did that all come about?
Well, for starters, when we did the pilot, I remember when they had just shot the first scene when Grams comes into where Gramps is dying. You never really see the Gramps dies early in the episode, but Michelle, who has just started to live with Grams, is in the bedroom, and she's talking to Gramps, and Gramps comes in, and I was very, very, what are you doing, And the director, after we shot it, first take, he took me aside and he said, this isn't The Exorcist. And I said, oh, what, you mean it was too much? He said, yeah, I think you can tone it down a little. And I thought at the time I said to him, I said, yeah, but I feel like we need to establish right from the beginning that she is a no-nonsense, tough as nails grandmother, and she knows she's got a troubled kid on her hands, and she's laying the rule right down from the beginning, and she does want to scare her. So I don't know if he ever agreed with me or not, but he let me stay on that track, which was lovely for the character, because then you got to see
great arc,
other surprises. Great arc. Yeah. But as far as the aging was concerned, it was pretty funny because I was still coloring my hair at the time. I was 57, so I was still coloring my hair. And I had made a pact somewhere in the back of my mind that at 65, I would start letting it grow out. And my agent said, no, keep coloring it. I didn't. But anyway, at the time, I was still coloring it. So they had to put little streaks of what looked like and felt like shoe polish or toothpaste, or, with a little toothbrush. They would just comb it through just in the front around things. And then the rest of my hair was the color it was. And as the years went on, and each episode, I'd go like this, and they'd take a very fine brush and just go in. Well, now they're just there all by themselves. So it was really, really interesting. I got a sneak preview of what I was going to look like in 20 years. Yeah.
Did you ever push back on any of that, or were you just...
No, I wanted to have, because I knew I was younger than the character. I wanted all the help I could get, the gravitas of her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams, you mentioned, of course, played Jen on the show. And at the 2022 Gotham Awards, she really accredited you for being the first artist she had met in real life. It's a beautiful speech, really in honor of you and your work and your relationship with her. I have a couple of questions about that. First, what's your relationship like now? Obviously, you saw her at the reunion. Are the two of you still?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's still my baby.
She's so incredibly talented.
She is so amazingly talented. And the truth is, I did see that in her. She was very young. Ironically, she was the age appropriate. I mean, she really was 15, 16 when we started shooting. Ironically, she had had more on-camera experience than any of us. Josh being the next one, he had had a lot of on-camera experience. The producers and a lot of the writers and directors thought that because I was the oldest one, that I was the one with the experience. I'd only shot one Law and Order before we started shooting Dawson's Creek. So my on-camera experience was very limited. But there was something about, I recognized that that the camera loved Michelle. And that Michelle's honesty, her own self-honesty, self-integrity, her own emotional maturity was what the camera saw. But she herself was very hard on herself. She didn't like anything she did. She was very critical of herself. And it was really sort of my job to sort of let her know that it was beautiful. Don't fix it. Don't fuss with it, because she's just, and to this day, I mean, now she's developed her instrument, so that shit sniffing, where's the truth, it's part of her gift, and it's who she is.
I imagine you've seen a lot of her performances throughout the years. Do you have sort of a favorite that that you?
I have I wouldn't say it's exactly my favorite, but it is one that probably maybe two or three of people who are watching and listening to this have seen. There was an off-Broadway play. It was a British play, and I can't remember the name of the writer. Might have been Alan Ayckbourn or one of those British comedy, clever language writers. And I think it was called The Rat or The Rat Trap. She played a character, an uptight, very prissy sort of British character. It was one of the funniest things I have ever seen on stage. She wasn't playing a caricature. She really was this funny, uptight, and her sense of comedy, because when comedy is true, like anything is true, it is really funny. And because she's done so many really deep, tragic and sexy and all of these other things that she does so beautifully, I'm just waiting for the world to discover the comedian.
Yeah.
That comic instinct is it's gold. And it's, I just treasure remembering that.
I hope she gets to do more comedy. The other part of my question, in sort of reference to that Gotham Awards speech, is she credited you with being really the first artist she had come across. And I'm curious, who were the artists that really inspired you, or the people that you met along your way in your career that really made you think this is what I want to do, or that's an inspiration to me?
Well, at the risk of blowing my cover, I started as an opera singer. So I was exposed to great art and great artists really early on, and a really, really deep work ethic. And I had to leave the opera world because the striving for perfection will kill you. So I had a lot of wonderful teachers and conductors from that world. But that's also another world. I mean, I grew up in the tradition of, there was still a lot of old world opera traditions and teachers and conductors. But as far as moving into theater, music theater, TV and stuff, I mean, Yul Brynner was the first
who you worked with on The King and
real artist in The King and I. Yeah, The King and I was my first real understanding that I could move from opera into music theater and be accepted.
Right.
And he was a giant.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him on stage, obviously, but also off stage, the way he lived his life with such, he's a lot of reputation out there, Hollywood stuff and everything, but I found him to be a man of great grace and integrity and humor.
I'm always fascinated to talk to actors, especially ones of your stature, who they think was their best scene partner. Is there would it be him, or is there someone you're like in the middle of a scene with that you've worked with that you're like, oh my gosh?
Oh, wow. Oh, I feel like there's quite a few. I feel sort of not on the spot, really, to name anyone in particular, but any actor who is in the moment and not thinking about how they look or what's the next line or what's happening next or getting ready, that I've worked with, and I've worked with quite a few. That's what tends to happen is you kind of only remember the bad ones.
Sure. Is there a bad one that sticks out in your head?
It's like reviews. I don't remember the good ones.
Yeah.
I do. I could almost quote you line for line, the bad ones.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the thing of working with actors that are, I mean, I just picked Brynner because he was such an iconic
Hmm.
great, and he was a great scene partner. Not all iconic, great, famous people are good scene partners
Hmm.
because there's a lot of
Yeah.
ego there.
Yeah.
I didn't experience any ego with him.
What about you? Whenever I know Mary Beth Peil is going to be in something or on stage in something, I know you're going to be amazing. Is there a performance of yours that you think you were best at, that you just connected so deeply with that you thought this is it?
I do have an answer for that one. I'm probably leaving out a few, but the most recent one that really was like, oh, I've been waiting for this. I've been getting ready for this part since I was 25 years old, and that's the Dowager Empress
Mm.
in Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Yeah, I became a Russophile somewhere along the line. I mean, I know it was a lot from reading novels and the Russian great novelists and poetry and the music and then I got involved in the history and I mean, I have two bookshelves full of it's all Russian.
Oh, yeah.
So I was ready. And when that part came along, it was like, are you kidding me? That part, that character, and it's a musical. I get to
Mm.
sing too. Yeah. That felt really like I this is mine.
Yeah. I love
This is
that.
mine.
Do you
Yeah.
consider yourself a diva? I know the technical definition is an opera singer, and you, of course, have that
There's
background.
the reason I'm not a famous opera singer is I'm not a diva.
Uh,
Well, that's one of the reasons.
you're a famous opera singer to me.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I don't consider myself a diva.
uh,
I kind of go out of the way, probably to a fault to not be.
okay. I think you could be a little bit of a diva if you want to be. You've earned it. You should be a little.
I guess I could be. I
Yeah,
mean,
you deserve it.
I do know that, and I guess I think this comes with age. I do speak up more than I used to.
Oh, that's interesting. So you find yourself on productions? Do you think when you were in previous productions you were
Oh, yeah,
quiet? Yeah, yeah.
very much so. Very much so, especially with theater, straight non-musical things where I felt I had so much to learn about just being an actor and not singing,
Right.
not having the music to help me show who the character was. It took me a long time. One of the uh, people that helped me with that was Moises Kaufman. We were doing a piece called 30 Variations. And it had music involved in it. My character was a musicologist, and I had a relationship with Beethoven. And the last piece he wrote before he died, and my character also was dying. And Moises works in such a way that the actors actually contribute to the script, to the writing of the script.
Sure.
The actors, it's required that every day you come to rehearsal with a new moment or a new something, improvisational something or other. So I really felt I could contribute to that. First of all, because I did know about Beethoven. I did know the music. Of the actors in the cast, I was a musicologist. I mean, I'm not a musicologist, but I had the first taste of actually speaking up and saying, that's not, that won't work. And what it needs is more of this. So let's, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
How did you feel when you did speak up? It must have been.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was like the first time I did a musical instead of an opera where I could sing, but people weren't judging my high C or my
Mhm.
trills or whatever, where I could actually jump in and be free of the perfection monkey. It was the same kind of feeling. It's like, people really want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Is there a dream role that's you still have yet to play? Is there? I'm sure there's a.
There is a dream.
Yeah.
I can't say it's exactly a dream role because I don't know. If I hadn't done Anastasia, I would have said that. But I have a dream that someone has written or will write a play or a film or a TV series, something that involves a woman of a certain age, an old woman. I'm not just a woman of a certain age anymore. I'm old. I realized COVID slowed everything down. And I realized once I turned 80, which was the beginning of COVID, that and everything slowed down. So everybody was sort of taking stock. When everything started opening back up again, I realized I'm no longer able or being cast as anywhere from 50 to 70, maybe 75. Having started in my 50s playing a 75-year-old, I'm now in the top rung of the ladder, 85 and up. I guess I'm waiting for the role in Titanic. The old lady
Really
in Titanic. Yeah.
But I feel, obviously, to me, you're so vibrant and so incredible in everything you do. And I tend to gravitate towards stories. I mean, that's probably why I gravitated towards Grams at such a young age. She was my favorite character on the show. But it's like I always tend to gravitate towards the oldest woman on stage or screen because I feel like they have the most wisdom and the most life experience. And
yeah.
And also the biggest transformation. I mean, we just sort of talked about you saying you felt inclined to speak up at a certain point on that production. And to me, that's even a transformation that a man might not have gone through because they're often
deferred to.
Right. Yeah. So to me, it's like also women have these incredible transformations along the way that I think men don't have. And so I always wish, and so if I'll do my best to write. I'm a writer too. I'll do my absolute best to get it going.
But, work on it.
But I do think like I get frustrated and then oftentimes something will come along, a movie or something will do well featuring older women. And it's like, why aren't there more of that? People do want to see that. And I also think of the women in my life who want to see themselves portrayed on screen and their stories told. And so I feel strongly about that.
I think we're getting there. I really do think we're getting there. My new hero, well, she's been my hero for a long time, but June Squibb at 96
incredible.
Is just killing it. It's fantastic. And she's so full. She's so juicy. Mm-hmm. She's totally full of life and humor. And
she just last year did an action movie and
Thelma.
Thelma. It was so good. It was so good.
It's fabulous.
And she was credible in it. And and to have these incredible talents who want to work, it's like, and even I saw Jane Fonda was just in an interview recently, and she said, "I want to work. I'm hoping to work." And it's like Jane Fonda should not be craving roles. We should be throwing roles at like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You took place in an Ashman and Menken concert, and I just wondered, do you have a favorite song?
Did I?
I thought I saw that online. There was like a benefit concert or something, but I thought it was an Ashman and Menken benefit concert, but maybe forgive me if that.
No. It might have been so long ago that it's not in my.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay. I don't.
We'll move on.
Moving on. Rodgers and Hammerstein, yes, but I don't. I probably did, but I don't remember.
What did you think of the ending of Dawson's Creek? Were you happy with how things sort of wrapped up?
I was.
Yeah.
I was certainly for myself and Michelle.
Yeah, you guys had the best arc on there.
Because we had a real story from day one when we to the end. Ooh, I just got goosebumps even seeing that. Yeah, I did. And I thought, for the rest of the kids, leaving it sort of open to possibilities. Josh and Katie are working on something now that Katie, has written and is directing and I think I don't I don't think it's based on those characters, but I think it's based on that kind of ongoing relationships.
Right. Yeah, I
Pick
think
up where you left off, and
it'll
then
be interesting to see. I think so many of us who
very,
love Dawson's Creek are excited to see the two of them
yeah.
together. What do you think happened with Graham's after the finale ended? Was there anything in your brain that sort of Graham's went on to do with Jen's daughter or anything?
I think that she helped Jack find a partner. I mean, she didn't help him find the partner, but she supported him finding a partner, and I think she became the grandmother, godmother, babysitter, factotum, teach the Bible lessons, go to the concerts for her grandchild, her great grandchild, through Jack as a couple, and they would eventually be allowed to marry, and yeah.
Do you hear from a lot of younger fans of Dawson's Creek who have rediscovered it over the years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It must be fulfilling to know that something you did so long ago, it just can live on forever.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's very moving. It's one of the best things about TV and film is that it is there. It's still there. I mean, for better or for worse, I'm sure there are things that people wish they didn't have to see. But I've been really lucky. I haven't been like, ooh, about anything that on film or TV. That I guess I've had good scripts and good directors who've taken good care of me. And
also because you're great in everything. That's why.
Well, that must be, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
No, truly, like every time I'm like, oh, Mary Beth Peil is going to be in this. Like, she's going to be great. Even if the thing isn't as great, it's like, as soon as we get to you, it's going to be great. What do you want sort of your legacy to be? What do you want people to think about when they think of a Mary Beth Peil's career?
God, you ask really deep questions.
I like to get a little deep sometimes. I like to be silly too, but I like to get a little deep.
Well, yes, it's tempting for me to turn that into silly just because it's so deep. I think someone said something just recently about the world's grandmother, or somebody's best grandmother. Meaning the universal kind of grandmother thing, which I found that sweet and funny. But I guess as far as I tend to think of my career over here in this box and me over here in this box. So the world's something grandmother sort of marries the two in a way. So it's hard for me. I'm assuming you're asking about the career side.
We can do both, whatever kind of comes to mind, really. I mean, if it's personal.
Well, the personal part is that I think one of the things I've always done best and am good at, because I just naturally am curious, and I find it's the only way I can both be helpful for whoever I'm listening to and for myself, learning about myself. And I know I'm a good listener. And for actors, the best actors are the best listeners. That's how you engage. That's how you know you're with a good scene partner, if you feel like you're being heard, so that you can keep on being as honest as possible. And in that respect, I think I just answered my own question. I think that's the most important thing for me in life, and one of the best things I can offer as an actor.
Listen, I have a newborn son at home, and I read to him every night, and I'm sort of obsessed with Curious George, and And I think part of what I want, obviously he's very little right now, but I always think I just really want him to be curious. I want him to be curious about things like that. If I can just impart like a word, it's like, just please be curious and about the world around.
Danny, I could not agree more. My favorite word lately is mystery. Mysterious, mystery, because the more curious I am about something, I almost found myself not wanting to know the answer. I don't want anyone to give me the answer. I want it to be continuing to be mysterious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Part of the fun of life is trying to solve that mystery.
Exactly. And usually one thing gets solved and it reveals, it's like the onion, it reveals another question within that question. I love that. I love it.
Well, Mary Beth, this was such a pleasure and an honor to talk to you. Is there anything you want to say to Dawson's Creek fans who have loved you all these years?
I am just so grateful for all of the people who let us know how much how important the creek was and continues to be. And anytime anyone stops me on the street or I get a fan letter, it just is, it's very moving. It's moving. I know it's moving to the people that are responding to us, but it's moving to us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for all of your work. Obviously, there were so many projects we didn't get a chance to talk about, but you are just incredible. Next time, we'll do another time. Yes. Yeah. And if you're ever in Los Angeles, you'll come here in person. We'll do it.
Oh, that's a hook. Okay.
And then also, I'm going to get to writing you something.
I'm holding you to that.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Such a pleasure and an honor. And I also just finally want to encourage listeners to donate to Fuck Cancer if you get a chance. Please. We'll put a link in the episode description. But thank you so much.
Because there's not a lot of good things we can do these days, but that's one of them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Mary Beth.
Thank you, Dan. Bye.